engineer for the ISS, flight engineer Mikhail Borisovich Korniyenko, flight engineer for Soyuz and the ISS, and NASA astronaut Scott Kelly, flight engineer for Soyuz and flight engineer for the ISS. Ladies and gentlemen, please, questions?
Пожалуйста.
Please. Beloglazova Ekaterina Beloglazova, Russian Cosmos. First of all, congratulations on such a difficult stage of training. I'm wishing you good luck. My question is, what is your scheduled program, and are there going to be any interesting experiments? What are you planning to do on board? Thank you for your good wishes. Greetings again to everyone. Our flight program is very busy. During our flight, we will perform over 50 experiments. Many of them will be will have very good practical applications for science, for the humanity, specifically medical experiments. Now, regarding unusual work that I have done in the past and will do, what is interesting is that we will be sort of cleaners on board. Our objective will be to remove the old hardware on board, which is not being used anymore, but still is on board. To free up space for new equipment, we will need to remove this equipment. It's not an easy task, but we feel prepared. Thank you. Other questions? Irina Golovina, 360 degrees television station. My question is for Ms. Serova. Yelena, how long did it take you to train for this flight? You know, I would say that I have been preparing for my flight my entire life. That's a general statement, but to be more specific, I've been in the cosmonaut corps since 2006, when I first started training as a candidate cosmonaut. So we can start counting at that time. So you can do your own math, how long it took me. It's been hard work. What was the most difficult part during your training? I think for anyone, the most difficult thing is to overcome yourself. How does your family feel about your upcoming flight? My family has always supported me, always helped me, and they have always tried to do anything they can to help me. Thank you. Hello, Elena Sinova, ITAR TAS. My traditional question is, what is going to be the symbol for your flight and will be your weightlessness indicator? That's a good question. It is true that we always have a number of traditional items that we use as our tokens. Usually the commander selects it, but we are an unusual crew, and so we allowed Yelena to make this choice and to select our weightlessness indicator. Yes, thank you. I would like to thank our gentlemen here for this opportunity given to me. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I would tell you that it is going to be a toy, a small item that I got from my daughter. It's very important to my daughter. It's going to be a hair, not a usual hair, but the hair that was brought from the Olympic Games. She liked it a lot, and so I'm going to use that as our weightlessness indicator. Thank you for your question. Hello, Mushin Igor from Mir television station. Two questions. One for Ms. Serova. I know that you had to go through survival training, including in the desert and in the water. Can I tell us how it went and what was difficult and what you had to do to overcome your difficulties. Thank you for your question. As you know, we do go through special training. One of them is surviving in the desert as part of a crew. And of course, this training gives us an invaluable experience in surviving in difficult conditions. Thanks to the fact that we have been trained very well and very correctly, and the fact that we had very good instructors who gave us a lot of knowledge, everything went nominally. It was difficult, but we were very successful in surviving under these conditions, and so I appreciate the help that was given to us during training. Now, another type of survival training we did in the taiga forests. As you know, this is possible as well, that we will land somewhere in the deserted areas in the forests. And so I trained with Barry Wilmar and Alexander Samakutyaev. Again, we were very successful, and I think in part that the reason is that we were a very good crew, very tight crew. We were able to support each other and help each other, and I think that's one of the reasons for our success and why we were able to accomplish this. Okay, Yelena, my second question for you is what experiments are you going to be in charge of on board of the ISS? Just like others, I have a long list of experiments that I will have to perform. One of them is very interesting. That's called Vizier. We have unique designers and specialists who have designed a special method for performing imagery of the Earth's surface using special coordinates. This was developed here in Russia by our Russian specialists, and we're working on it right now. It's very promising. Thank you. Hello. Snimash press service. Are you planning to perform any Snimash experiments? If you are, which ones? I can tell you that yes, we will have a number of experiments. I won't list all of them. You can see this in a brochure, see it in the brochure which lists all our experiments in detail, but yes, definitely. And I'm sure we will perform them from the beginning to the end. Okay, thank you. Life News television channel. Can you tell us a little more about your expedition, how long you will be on board, and what is the main goal of your flight? The main goal for our flight is to perform it successfully and come back. We will be 168 days on board, which is a typical duration, I would say standard duration, for crews to remain on board. As you know, we rotate indirectly. Now, the goal of the expedition, it would take too long to describe. We have a huge number of experiments, we have a lot of work, we have station outfitting activities, repair work. The ISS has been on orbit for over 15 years. So imagine you live in your own apartment for 15 years, so you will need to perform certain renovations, replace some items, etc. So that's what we will be doing. We will be working with equipment, restore some equipment, repair some equipment, specifically with the life support systems. We will also perform the integration of new scientific equipment, technical equipment. We have a long list of tasks that we will need to accomplish throughout our expedition. Also medical work, medical experiments, targeted studying the effects of weightlessness on a human body. So a lot of complicated, complex tasks, but exciting nonetheless. And I'm sure we will be successful. Maxim Prihoda from NTV. One for Mr. Samakutyaev, one for Mr. Barry Wilmer. Mr. Samakutyaev, what exams did you take the other day, and what was the most difficult one? You know, the exams are really the easiest thing that a crew member does. It's exciting. You do get nervous a little bit just from hearing the word exam. But the training itself that preceded these examinations was much more difficult. A lot of work went into it, and we focused on different aspects of our work, of nominal situations. The examinations are built in such a way or designed in such a way that you get an envelope with a number of questions, 6 or 5 questions. And those are not just easy questions, those are off-nominal situations that may happen. Neither the examination commission nor the crew members know what questions will be there. We make sure that the questions are photographed and documented and sealed. So, depending on the exam, we are either in Soyuz or ISS, and we play out these off-nominal situations. Then the commission assesses our work based, again, on the off-nominal situation. All these situations were not very typical for us. Those were all difficult, all life-threatening. Especially should we fail to perform certain actions, but again, it takes cohesive, tight crew to overcome, and fortunately, we are that crew. Okay, thank you.
Maybe an ordinary question: what's it like to work with a woman?
Professionally, it's no different than working with anyone else that I've ever worked with. Elena has been professional for the 2 years that I've worked with her. She's been impressive, and she's been a joy to work with. But yes, she is a woman, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to fly with her. She's kind, she smiles, which is nice to receive, and that's really nice. So I appreciate that as well. All of the cosmonauts that I've met here are professional, capable, and I'd love to fly with all of them, but I wouldn't trade these two for any of the others.
Спасибо.
Thank you.
Прошу вас.
Please. Hello, Evgenia Donnikova, Korolев Television. Yelena, question for you. When we prepared a long video about your preparation, we saw a video where the Energia representatives were showing you very complicated equipment that you will be working with on board of the ISS. And so here's the first part of my question. Do you remember anything in specific that impressed you more than others with the equipment that you saw? That was presented to you by Energia. The second part of my question is, you have had to process a lot of information during training, different equipment, different activities. What is your secret? How did you manage to internalize all of this? Do you have your own method? Thank you very much. This is a great question. It is true that we trained a lot, and it was very interesting, especially since we will be working with new equipment. I can't say that I was shocked by anything or very impressed by anything, because it's just your business as usual, regular work. And what you try to do is make sure that you perform your task well and correctly when you're on board. As I said earlier, specialists always do their best, give us all their knowledge, and we are always ready to perform any task.
скажем так, обработки тех знаний.
Regarding processing the knowledge that we receive.
Отметить, что ведь все-таки в космонавты просто так не берут.
Well, one thing is that it's not as easy as you would think to become a cosmonaut. It takes special people, and so we are surrounded by amazing people here who do have the capacity to process a lot of information. We know that this is our work, and we are prepared to perform this work, and we will continue to do so.
Здравствуйте, Дарья Смирнова, РЕН-ТВ.
Daria Smirnova, REN-TV.
Когда, сейчас, да, вас зачислили.
What were the emotions that you experienced when the final decision of the commission was made for you to be the crew member? Can you repeat your question? When it was decided that you will become a crew member,
Сейчас, вот.
I mean right now, 30 minutes ago. Well, we were prepared.
К сегодняшнему мероприятию.
We were ready for today's event.
Шанс есть всегда. Но прежде всего я
Although it is always possible, I guess.
Так хорошо отработал.
First and foremost, I was very proud of our entire crew that we trained. We passed all the exams. We performed very well, and I am grateful to the entire crew. Because again, only working together, all of us, we will be able to accomplish all our objectives. I was very proud. I was very happy.
Спасибо.
Thank you.
Спасибо. Пожалуйста, я Сергей.
Sergey, please.
Сергей Шамсуддинов, новости космонавтики.
Sergey Shamsuddinov, Cosmonautics News.
Вопрос вообще прекрасный.
Good question. Very practical. I keep being asked that question all the time. My hair will change, but the length of my hair will remain the same. When I trained in the US, many female astronauts gave me advice how to wash your hair in 5 minutes. Turns out that it's quite easy to do on board. It's actually easier than if you have short hair. But of course, I will try to put my hair up to make sure that it's not in the way when I'm trying to do my work, and also that it's not in the way of my colleagues. Did I answer your question? Yes. Can you tell us how you can wash your hair in 5 minutes? It's a whole procedure. At least it takes longer to explain than to do it. I'm sure when I'm on board of the ISS, it will all be filmed and you will be able to see this. What hairstyle are you planning to have? Well, I can just braid my hair, put it in a bun, not that hard. Okay, a question for the backup crew. All of you have a lot of experience, also in spaceflight as well. What do you think of the prime crew? Do you think they're ready? The prime crew is ready. We did report to the commission today that we are only prepared to be the backup crew. We're not ready and not prepared to be the prime crew. Thank you. Dear friends, Nikolai Borisovich Bazin here, who represents the Cosmonautics Federation.
Я представлюсь. Бодин Николай Борисович.
My name is Nikolai Borisovich Bodin. I apologize. Representing the Cosmonautics Federation of Russia. First of all, I would like to address the prime and backup crew on behalf of the president of the Cosmonautics Federation, Vladimir Kovalenko. We congratulate you on the successful completion of your training and on the upcoming flight. According to the rules of our federation, for the crew members who fly in space for the first time, we have an ID, cosmonaut ID.
Это удостоверение номерное.
It has its own unique number.
143.
So number 143.
Оно Оно полностью оформлено.
It's done properly. All the documentation is here. Later on, we'll put in the launch date.
Данное удостоверение имеет
This
международное
ID is international because on the last page we
оказывать содействие
have in 5 languages
данного удостоверения в
the request to assist this crew member in various situations. I am very pleased to present Yelena Olegovna Sirova with this ID. She will
космический полет.
take it with her in the space flight. She will put the correct stamps here as tradition requires. The stamps are on board of the ISS. This is the tradition that has been passed on from the Mir station times.
В дальнейших своих космических полетах
And in her future space flights, she will bring this ID with her. And so it is my pleasure to present Yelena with this ID. Thank you. Can you please open it and show us the first page? Thank you. Thank you very much.
Так, большое спасибо.
Thank you very much.
И разрешите завершить
Allow me
свое
to
выступление
finish my presentation
450 километров под
by
вашего корабля. Удачи.
wishing you good luck and keep 450 kilometers underneath your ship.
Да, прошу,
Thank you.
Екатерина.
Ekaterina, go ahead. Elena, question for you.
Сейчас выдерживает такую.
I know that you get
Я желаю вам выдержать.
more questions than others. You have a lot of you get a lot of information, but you do very well.
Стать все-таки космонавтом.
How and when did you decide to become a cosmonaut? And
То, что Марк хотел как космонавтом. И изменилось ли
the fact that Mark wanted to be a cosmonaut, did it have anything to do with it?
сейчас в конце подготовки перед самым,
Also, has your idea of being a cosmonaut changed
как я уже говорила, у меня
since you started training? That's a great question. I've always, since I was a child, wanted to work in the space industry. And to be honest with you, I never dreamed that I will be as close to space as I am now.
только благодаря тому, что
Only thanks to the fact that I wanted to be as close to space as possible, I
институт, космический факультет.
studied at the space department of the Moscow Aviation Institute, met my husband, Mark Sirov, and what we found in common was our love for space.
В ракетно-космическом
And then together we started working at the Rocket Space Corporation, Energia.
на пути к
So these were all our steps towards becoming
мне предстоит.
what I became.
Пришел в отряд
Mark
немножечко раньше
joined the Cosmonaut Corps
года.
earlier than I did, 3 years earlier, but we've always supported each other. Why am I saying all of this? Because I want to
Я окажусь в
show that I knew what would happen if I
Я понимала,
be-
что меня
joined the Cosmonaut Corps. So it was a very conscious decision. I knew what to expect, and I was not afraid of the difficulties. And so
наш экипаж
here I am.
полету,
Here's our crew. We are ready for flight,
наша мечта осуществится.
and soon our dream will come true. Thank you.
Спасибо.
Thank you.
Прошу вас.
Please. Yes, of course.
Владимир Ломакин.
Vladimir Lamakin, Kaliningrad,
Вам предстоит встречать на орбите
Skaya Pravda newspaper. You have a lot of work scheduled for you. How did you prepare?
Вообще проведение праздников на орбите– это
Especially holidays.
деятельности в распорядке.
Yes, holidays on board and celebrations on board are special events.
По большому счету у экипажей как таковых вот
Strictly speaking,
земного понимания выходных праздников.
we don't get any days off or holidays the way you would have on Earth. Station is a living, breathing organism, and if you relax and lie on your couch, so to speak, it's going to be different.
разумеется, мы всегда ждем, и мы всегда рады.
But, of course, we always look forward to significant events or celebrations in space.
Земное событие в космосе
So,
– это особая статья, и это
for us,
какая-то маленькая
it
внутренняя
allows us to
готовность. Это какой-то условно необычный стол, да, мы добавляем там
allows us to maybe eat
ну, складировано немножко,
festive food, maybe in our stash, in addition to our regular food,
годны к применению.
especially if we have any fresh fruit or vegetables.
Большей торжественности определенной.
And so,
Что касательно Нового года, то, разумеется,
for New Year's,
это вот второй экипаж, он обычно нам привозит
the second crew that will be launching in November, usually what happens is they bring a small Christmas tree. Also, we have
вот, разумеется,
decorations on board,
новогодние атрибуты,
even New Year's
земля,
decorations.
тоже в ноябре он
Also, in November, we're hoping to receive
поздравительный.
care packages from Earth
Для нас, для российских членов,
for us, for Russian crew members. New Year's is the biggest
праздник,
holiday
Новый год и
from your childhood, New Year's and your birthday.
для военных еще 8 марта.
Also, for military personnel,
Вот эти все
International Women's Day,
выпадают на
March 8th. And what's interesting is that we're going to have all these holidays when we're on board.
несколько выходных дней.
We do get a few days off,
Выходных я имею в виду не субботу, воскресенье там,
meaning not weekends, but
стран
the off-duty days
и у нас
that are coordinated by all the partners. And so we will have two Christmases,
то есть
March 8th and New Year's. And so we'll have an opportunity to
день будет несколько разгружен, не будет
spend time together in a more relaxed atmosphere.
день
We won't be as busy with work as we normally are.
находимся в работе.
But again, you're never truly off duty when you're on board. Thank you.
Стефани Стол, НАСА.
Okay, Stephanie Stoll from NASA.
There are at least 2 U.S.-based spacewalks to occur during your time on board the space station. Can you tell us about what is your role in those and how much are you looking forward to it?
Well, that's a good question. It's always exciting when you think about putting on a suit and going outside in space. You say there's 2. There's actually, during the whole 6 months we're up there, there's actually 4 EVAs planned in the U.S. segment. On the first EVA, I'll be supporting actually from inside on that one. I'll be working the robot arm. There's a lot of efforts or tasks that are being done that will move some large objects from one place to another. And I will be moving Alexander Gerst, who will grab those objects and move him to another place where he'll install them. And on the second EVA, which is actually just a month away from where we sit now, I'll be going outside with Reed Wiseman, and we'll be replacing some units that are not failed but have had issues in the past that have to do with generating electrical power. And then finally, later in our expedition in the January timeframe, I'm scheduled to go out with Terry Virts and prepare the station for future operations where manned vehicles will come up and actually dock to the space station. But we have to put some different docking adapters on the current docking mechanisms, and we need to run power to those, and that's what Terry and I will be doing.
Спасибо, прошу вас.
Thank you.
Мария Тумар, телеканал Russia Today.
Maria Tomart, Russia Today. Yelena, question for you. What is your daughter doing to prepare you for flight? And is she going to follow in the footsteps of her parents, or both cosmonauts? Well, actually, I was preparing my daughter and to go to school on September 1st for her first school day. But of course, he supports me. He's very excited for me, happy for me. For her further future career, it all depends on her choice and what she wants to do. Thank you.
Спасибо. Так, Екатерина, вы еще хотите спросить?
Katerina, you have another question?
Кто-нибудь из вас или все вместе вести страничку,
Will any of you
описывать свои
support the web page on the Roscosmos website? Please send us your inputs
Спасибо большое. Да,
and photos. Yes, absolutely. Thank you. We will take pictures, maybe small captions to them,
очень многие
because
интересуются тем,
many people are interested in what is going on board of the International Space Station. And so I think we will have a chance to bring it a little closer to the people. Yes, I continue following our site. I see that we have orbital galleries that I developed during my previous flight. So I see that people are interested in it, and the young people are interested in it. And so one of our objectives is to popularize cosmonautics and spaceflight, not only in Russia, but everywhere in the world. So we hope to continue with this work, and I will continue doing what I did during my previous space flight. Many photographs of the surface of the Earth, of cities, of space. That's all good, but I also want to show the back side of this work and to see to show what's going on board of the ISS. Hello, Sergey. Question for Mikhail Kornienko and Scott Kelly. Here's my question. You're preparing for one space flight with a duration of 1 year. How difficult will it be, do you think, compared to the 6-month flight that we currently have? Second question is your space flight that will last for 1 year. Is this just a one-time occurrence, or are there any other ones planned as well? As far as I know, Roscosmos and NASA management is planning more than one space flight, long-duration space flight. As far as Scott and I are concerned, of course, we are fully aware that it is not a walk in the park, but we've been in space, both of us. We know what it is, what it's like, and I'm sure we'll do fine. But again, it will be difficult, both physically and psychologically, but we feel that we're doing an important thing to develop towards space flight.
Preparation is somewhat different in that Misha and I, obviously, we're going to launch with Gennady and then return with Sergei Volkov on the Soyuz. So we, at some point, will train with him for our return. And furthermore, most of the training is very similar for the year-long flight, with the exception, since we're going to be on board twice as long. Like in my case, I have more payload training and training on the scientific experiments. And I would like to think when I get back, I would want to fly in space another year. I think I'm hoping that that's how I feel, but we will see.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, 2 more questions and we'll wrap it up. Hello, Irina Ponomaryova, Snimash. Question for the Prime crew. Each of you is allowed to take with you a certain amount of personal items. What are you planning to bring with you, and how are you going to spend your free time?
Just a couple of personal items. My daughters are actually in the back corner, and I've taken some things they're not even aware of. Just a couple of things that maybe they'll appreciate as they get older. So no details on what those things are, but just a couple items for them.
Of course, we are not bringing much. It's about the volume that is equal to the size of 1.5-liter bottle. We take the items that remind us of our families, of our friends, our small tokens. And there was an earlier question for the weightlessness indicator. And so the dog that my daughter gave me for my first space flight, I'm bringing it with me again. But again, it depends. I will bring with me photographs of my family, of those near and dear to me, so that I can look at them, I can be happy for them.
некоторые записи, но это личного характера.
And maybe small notes, but that's personal. That's it. Thank you.
Прошу вас.
Можно еще вопрос?
Another question for the Prime crew.
У вас интернациональная команда.
You have an international team.
Политическая ситуация во всем
The political situation in the world right now is very difficult.
в команде вашей.
How does this affect the atmosphere within your team, or are you above all of this?
С того первой
Let's
фразы вашего вопроса.
go back to the first phrase,
Несложная,
Интернациональная.
интернациональная, да.
first phrase that you said,
Профессия наша.
difficult international. No, I would disagree with that. We are professionals.
И
And
в тех условиях, в которых мы находимся, а мы
the
находимся
current,
где действительно
the conditions where
угрозы,
we will be living and working, where it's truly dangerous to your health and to your survival. We're doing something that will benefit, that the entire humanity will benefit. So there are no borders on board of the ISS. We share a table, we share the workspace, so we take care of each other just like we do on Earth,
национальности, вероисповедания.
regardless of our faith, gender, or nationality. We are united by one
Великое дело
profession, which is astronaut or cosmonaut. We're doing something for the entire humanity. Can Barry Wilmer answer this question?
Yes, I agree with what Sasha said. Also, on top of that, Sasha and Elena are not only my crew members, but they're also my friends. For 2 years, we've trained all over the globe together. They've been to my home, and we've broken bread together. And like Sasha said, there are situations in the place we're going where literally my life is in their hands, and theirs in mine. And we must have a very special trust of each other to go there and do things that hopefully eventually will be of benefit for all mankind. So yes, there are issues that take place around the world and around the globe and between nations, but both of our nations have tasked us with a certain specific goals, and that's what we've been marching to, like I said, for the 2 years we've been training, and what we'll continue to do while we're on orbit.
Елена, вы будете что-то?
Yelena, would you like to add something to this?
Да тут, в общем-то, больше нечего
I
добавить.
don't see anything that I could add.
Подпишусь по теми
I'll
словами, которые сказали ребята.
Support what
Кто думает,
this guy said. However, whoever has a different opinion is wrong.
Мы пресс-конференцию с вами
Dear colleagues, our press conference is completed at this point. Now, what are we planning to do next?
Ну, сейчас этот день мы продолжим
We will continue at the Museum of Star City
Гагарина.
and Gagarin's office. Then we will go to the Kremlin Wall
Королеву и прочим нашим коллегам.
to
Далее экипаж будет
set the flowers near Gagarin's grave and Korolov's grave. On September 13th, on Friday, the crew
в город Байконур. Всех вас
will be departing for Baikonur. So on the 12th of September, you are all welcome here to see the crew off. Okay, dear colleagues, please stick around and we'll be taking pictures after this.
Наш основной экипаж и сделать запись.
Prime crew making a record in the book, then we will switch and we'll have the backup crew have this place of honor. We're very proud and very honored that we have a female crew member, our fourth female cosmonaut.
They want to talk to you, that's for sure.
Да, Валерий Григорьевич. Алло, алло.
Пишем, скажи, пишем, расписываемся.
Tell him that we're signing the book.
Еще окончательно. Я батюшки.
Благовещенск.
Какая сейчас информация? Сейчас На море или...
The new.
А мы с Леной вон оттуда. Вот озеро Ханка, видите?
You see the Lake of Hanga? That's where Yelena and I trained.
Look at this, huh? See, look, this is the type of spacesuit that I'll be in. That's called a scaphandra. See the mask and the helmet's all included together. You'll see me walking, you'll see me in that. You'll see me in it.
Сейчас одну секунду. Пожалуйста, внимание. Будь чуть-чуть. Вот, да. Пожалуйста, внимание. Еще.
That's what we were just talking about. What you were just telling them about your
Нет, вы можете сходить, потому что...
Butch Wilmore, Expedition 41 flight engineer and Expedition 42 commander. We're here out at Red Square in the Kremlin. How are you feeling about your preparations for flight?
Well, actually, that's a good question. I hadn't thought about that in a few hours. I'm grateful to be at this point. This is a culmination of 2.5 years of training, and to be at this point, training complete. We've got a few weeks to rest before launch, and to have the opportunity to come here on a beautiful day. To be inside the Kremlin, a place when I was a kid I would have never dreamed I'd be standing right here. It's fantastic, and just what a wonderful opportunity.
You've been to the space station once before, 5 years ago, when you were a pilot on a space shuttle mission, and that was just for a short stay, and now you're going to have an opportunity to spend 6 months up in space. What are you looking forward to the most about having all that extra time on board?
What am I looking forward to the most about being on space station and the extra time? I can honestly say all of it. The launch is going to be fascinating, a different experience than the shuttle launch as far as the physical dynamics of it. That's going to be fascinating, of course. Looking out the small window for the first time again and seeing that view from on orbit, looking at the Earth from that vantage point again, it's going to be magnificent. And having the opportunity to do that every single day for 168 days, what an opportunity to have that as well. And plus, living and working environment, national, multicultural. I'm so grateful that I've been blessed with this opportunity to share this with others, share it with my family, share it with my friends, and to share it with all of you. So it's all wonderful, and I look forward to it all.
Butch Wilmore, thank you very much. Have a great mission.
Thank you.
That was weird, right? Doing a wedding. Женя, на этом мы заканчиваем. Если есть желание погулять.
So this